Women Innovators. Interviews with women with big messages and big missions, sharing their stories to inspire you to live your passion and step up to make the world a better place. Here's your host, Tami Patzer.
Hi, this is Tami Patzer, and I'm really happy to introduce today's guest, Rolie LYBL Man. Rolie is a specialist teacher and a wellness and resilience coach. She helps women 38 to 54 restore their emotional health and specializes in supporting women survivors of emotional abuse and trauma who have been suffering from years from stress, anxiety, and depression, and who wish to heal in a natural way. She is the creator of Love Yourself for a Better Life Wellness Retreat, her wellness website, and the founder of the Facebook group A.W.S.E.A Club, Amazing Women Survivor of Emotional Abuse. And she's been in the education field for more than 20 years, working with students with emotional difficulties. She uses her teaching experience and her own experience after overcoming 18 years of narcissistic personality disorder abuse. Her emotional struggles turned into passion to help other women survivors of emotional abuse. With that in mind, her website, WYBL Wellness Retreat, Love Yourself for a Better Life, was born, and Rolie created e-courses and customized journaling playbooks. She came up with her popular self-esteem self-study course to help women value themselves and boost their self-esteem. She now offers coaching programs and workshops using journaling techniques to help them fall in love with their lives again. She is now here with us today. Rolie, welcome.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me, Tamara.
I'm really happy that you're here, and you really have a true mission and a message for everyone today. Can you tell me who you help?
Yes, I help women restore their emotional health, and I specialize in supporting women survivors of emotional abuse and trauma. And as you said, age between 38 and 54. And those women have been suffering for years from stress, from anxiety and depression, and they are still living in the past. And my aim is to help them heal in a natural way, and this is what I do.
So you said something really interesting. You said that the women who are suffering, they're still living in the past. So can you talk about some of the problems that women who have suffered emotional abuse do have, and how you can help them move through it?
Well, the main problem that they have is regarding self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, personal boundaries, and confidence. And the way I help them is by offering them the journaling coaching programs, which are sessions where I work around their issue, find the root cause of it, which mainly is in the past, from childhood, from the teenage years, and sometimes from the past romantic relationship that they had. And I create strategies in the form of playbooks to provide them solutions to fix that issue. And it's all done through writing. And it's during those writing sessions that they discover who they were, who they are, and realize who they have become because of the trauma, because of the abuse. And through journaling, they understand themselves better. And that's the way I help them just remove that false self-image that they have of themselves.
So you work with people on self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, personal boundaries, and confidence. So you say that in the form of playbooks. Can you describe what you mean when you say a playbook?
So a playbook is after our first sessions, I will listen to the story and hear out what is the root that is causing them, to preventing them from moving on. And from that, I write different type of journal. I use different type of journal techniques. Could be letters, could be prompts, could be quotes. And then I just put it in a format of a playbook, of a ebook, if you see what I mean. And they have a task to complete every day or every week. And through those tasks, because they are all writing, they discover a little bit more about them and finding the reason why they are feeling the way they are at the moment. So this is what I call a playbook. It's a book where they have to complete little tasks, very simple, but so go the activities go so much depth that it allow them to go within to get the answers, if you see what I mean.
So you have the journaling techniques are questions, prompts, quotes, and letters. So can you give me an example of maybe a question or a prompt or a quote that you may use in your journaling technique?
Um, One that it could be talk to yourself the way you love someone. I think it's the last one I remember because it's one I did with one of my clients. And just that question, talk to yourself like you would talk to someone you love. That's it. Talk to yourself like you would talk to someone you love. Sorry. This is the quote, for example, that I used with my last client. And just that, for some of them, is how do you talk to yourself like someone you love? Because they have never talk themselves like this. Because their inner voice is so negative, they don't know how to talk themselves in a compassionate, in a nice way. So just by that quote, it just make them reflect so much on how do they perceive, how do they talk to themselves, and why do they talk to themselves in that certain way. So by giving them that quote, they're already thinking, oh, I need to make a change here. I need to do something. And how will I talk to myself if I was talking to someone I love and they would say certain things like, oh, I like this, I like that, I love this, yeah, I admire this. And then they realize that that's the way they need to speak to themselves. And this is the way you just show yourself some love. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, that's really, really interesting because you said it. Many people talk to themselves in negative ways.
Mm-hmm.
How do people? Do you have any techniques like how do you start to the journey, the healing journey? How do you start that to change the voices in your head or the way you talk to yourself? Um, it, you gave a really good example there about talking to yourself like you love you. So, is it all in writing? Are there other types of things that people can do?
Um, the way the way I do it, I just do it all in writing. The reason why is because you can go deeper with writing than just by talking. And you were asking me that question is how do they manage to find out how do they speak to themselves? Didn't you ask me that question
Um,
before?
I think what I'm thinking is limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
You know how will people have the things like for example, I was pumping gas one time and the price was like $4 a gallon here, which was really expensive. And it was like I said to myself, oh my god, I almost died seeing the price. Well, obviously that's a negative conversation, but
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're really talking about is when you've suffered from abuse or emotions, because a lot of abuse is obviously there's physical abuse, but do you think that the emotional abuse is almost worse than physical abuse because of how it affects how you operate in your life?
Yes, it is because it's not thin, it's insidious. It's a bit is sly. So what I'm trying to say that emotional abuse will affect your psyche. That's the thing. Physical abuse, you will not have a mark on your body, but the emotional abuse, you get the mark inside in your mind. And the thing is, the more you stay in this kind of abuse or trauma, or you live through that, the more you stay, the more it will affect you. And that's why most of the people that been through emotional abuse end up in depression, because they affected your psyche so much that you have to go through therapy first to be able to remove, of all the things that's been said to you. So it is definitely, I'm 100% sure, worse than physical abuse. And this is proven as well.
So, do you ever get people who, when you tell them that they can help heal themselves just by writing in a journal, do you ever get anybody saying, "Oh, that's impossible. That can't help me"?
No, no, because the women I've come across have already been on a healing journey, but they haven't healed yet. They have done some healing, but haven't healed yet. Therefore, they have a certain understanding of what they've been through, but for some reason they're stuck. And this is where I come in. I help them be unstuck, because the therapy, um, whatever session they have done before, haven't been able to remove this because it's way deeper. Okay, they have removed maybe most of it, but there's still something that is keeping them in the past. And through writing, you can access, and this is the beauty of journaling. Through writing, you can access your subconscious, and your answers are there.
Do you think is there a difference when you're journaling? You know how we live in this electronic world. Is there a difference in your success between using a pen and paper versus typing it into a computer?
Well, uh, the one my offer is pen and paper. The fact that it's kinesthetic, you use your hands, you've got the material, the paper in front of you. It's not the same. However, I'm not going to say that it doesn't work when you do it digitally or on the computer. It will. But to me, and I use my own experience as well, having the pen in my hand and having the notebook of the paper, there's a deeper connection. It's just, I'm in a safe haven, if you see what I mean. It's me, my little world, the pen, my thought, my emotions, my trauma, the abuse, and all that go with it. And I put everything on the paper. I'm free. I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
that is why I would say it's a lot more beneficial with pen and paper than just to do it on the computer. But really, it all depends on people.
how long does a typical journey? I mean, obviously, a lifetime of abuse can't be erased in a couple hours, but
Yeah.
how rapid is the healing accelerated when someone starts to journal?
Oh, that I like the way you say that, because it's just, I think you are saving yourself years by doing this, because in fact journaling is exploring the pain and understanding it. This is what journaling does. And the thing is, when you talk to someone or therapist, whatever, you don't always go deep enough. But when you are journaling, I said to you, it's just you and the paper, and that's when you are calm, you are focused, and that's when the doors of your subconscious opens. Okay, and here you got all the information that you can put on paper, and then you can look back at what you've written and understand what it means. And I help those women understand what it means. And by helping them that way, that's when they get realization, they get aha moments and epiphany. They say, "Oh, that is why I'm feeling that way." But maybe by expressing it orally, it wouldn't have happened. So what I'm trying to say is through journaling, there is so much they can get out of, and yes, they can heal so much faster, because those immediate epiphanies and realization, this is what's going to help them move on and make them heal a lot faster.
Wow. Well, it's so fascinating to me because as you're talking, there have been many times when I should have written and I actually avoided it because it's like when you do write, things do start to
Clear out.
pull out, but yet you don't do it because it's almost like you're afraid
Yeah,
to let the things come up because
exactly.
I guess it's called stuffing. You stuff down those
Hmm.
emotions, and when you do start to write, you never know um,
But
what might come up.
but that's the thing is, and that is why um, journaling is so good. Is you get access to this unburied emotion that you have stored for years, especially if you have childhood abuse like I had. Through writing, a lot of it came out. A lot of things came back, and I just didn't know that it happened. But I just wrote it down, and I emptied all the pain, all the suffering, and put it on the paper. And I felt so free. And yes, it was tough to face the suffering and the pain. But what I got out of it is that feeling of relief, of inner peace. And this is what's beautiful. And that's why I I explain to my clients that that it will come. You will see the relief, and then epiphanies after epiphanies. They see, they feel it, and they say, "Oh my God, I can't believe that just by writing, I could feel that way." And yes, and that is the healing power of journaling, of writing.
Wow.
I'm very passionate.
So you've actually created self-esteem, self-study course. Can you tell
Yes.
me a little bit more about that?
Yes. So with the self-esteem self-study course, the aim is to restore the self-esteem and to know the roots of what caused you low self-esteem. So it's made out of 9 different tasks, and in each task there is some activities to do, very simple activities. However, they will request in those activities I expect you to reflect on what happened. So you need to go back into the past. And yes, it can be painful, but that's the only way to be able to understand so we can fix the matter. And then we, in that exercise, will explore the critical inner voice. So you got a chance to see how you speak to yourself and why do you speak to yourself that way. And then you got another task where you value yourself. Okay, you have to find ways to how can you value yourself? What do you do well? Do you even know what you do well, or do you praise yourself for it? So there's those little activities that make you realize that, oh yes, maybe I can feel better about myself. I just need to look at myself in a different way. So this is what the self-esteem course is all about. It's all focusing on the self, on the inner you.
Well, and that's really important because often in our day-to-day lives, we get so wrapped up in other people taking care of
Mhm,
our children or whatever that we forget about taking
mhm,
care of ourselves. So I think that's really important. And you
mhm.
also, your website is Love Yourself for a Better Life Wellness. And tell me about your retreat. You do a retreat?
Uh, I mean, the way I organized this, I created that website is for them to be the retreat for those women who have survived emotional abuse.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't actually create retreats, which this is my aim eventually, but I call it the wellness retreat because this is the place I want them. This is your safe haven where they can find solutions. And I've written many blog posts, and at the end of blog, there's little free resources that they can access and they can work on. And then the reason why I called it the wellness retreat is the place where they can find a way to be well by just exploring different avenues from my website, the blog post, or there is a boutique as well. They can find a little something that's just going to make them feel a bit better, and that is why I created this website, and I called it Love Yourself for a Better Life, because if you want to improve your life, if you want to be unstuck from the past, you need to start from you, and you need to start with giving yourself love.
I think you're absolutely right. And then you also have your Facebook, the A.W.S.E.A club. Excuse me. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I'm so happy with this Facebook club. Yeah, and it's growing little by little, and this is the place where as well I provide solutions, and I've created a journaling challenge, which is called From Beachy Voice to BFF Voice. And the aim was for them to just work on their inner voice, just that area, just the inner voice. Find out how you speak to yourself. Find out how you can challenge your inner voice. Find out how you can tame that inner voice so it becomes your BFF, and how you can get that inner voice, that critical inner voice, turning into a cheerleading voice, the voice that is going to support you instead of denigrate you. And this is what the challenge was about. And it was so much fun, I have to say, because many people don't realize that they are being ruled by that critical inner voice. What I mean by ruled is they are not the boss of their own mind. It's the critical inner voice that is the boss, if you see what I mean. Because it's so negative, they go by whatever is negative. And with that challenge, just gear the critical inner voice into the positive. Let's focus on the positive and see what kind of outcome you get. And the outcome, obviously, is just beautiful. Okay, they feel that confidence coming up. They feel that inner peace. They feel that they can start trusting themselves, and they feel that they are enough. And this is the best. They understand that they are enough, but it's also with the inner voice.
That's really beautiful. So where can people find out more about you and your services? Where would you like them to go?
So if they want to find out a bit more about me, they need to go to my website, which is called www.lyblwellnessretreat.com. And if they want to visit me on my Facebook page, it's called A.W.S.E.A, Amazing Women Survivors of Emotional Abuse. And I also got an Instagram if they want to do the little challenges as well, because I post on Instagram regularly. So, and my handle is at LYBL.loveyourself.
Okay, great. Well, wow. What a massive amount of information. And really, I really think the big thing that I really am taking away from what you're telling me is that you actually can use a pen and paper and a little notebook or a piece of paper and change your life.
Exactly.
You just have to do it and know that, yes, in order to heal the past, you might have to go back and look at it so that you can move forward. So I think that's really, really important. So again, Rolie, thank you so much for being my guest today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Can I just say, I'm offering as well for your listeners a free challenge, if I can call it like this, a free journal challenge, and it's called Your Complete Self-Worth Checklist Bundle. And I will pass it on to you, and then you can just give it to all your listeners. And if they want to have a try, they're so welcome to it. Okay, I will put information if they want to get back to me after that. But that's my little thank you for this interview and for all those listeners that are listening to me. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That's fabulous. So what Rolie just offered is your complete self-worth checklist bundle. So I will give you the link. So thanks so much again, everyone. This is Tami Patzer. Go make it a great day.
You've been listening to Women Innovators with Tami Patzer. To learn more, please go to womeninnovatorsradio.com. And please do subscribe and share to spread the big messages and big missions to change the world.